Alright, what's up guys? We've got the second episode on Usagi Drop. Now, basically in this episode, Daikichi has returned back to his job, and Rin has her nursery school to go to. Now, if some of you don't remember, Daikichi took Rin in because her grandpa died, or her so-called grandpa died, who was acting as her guardian, and now Daikichi took her in. So she had her nursery school on Monday. During the weekend, he went and bought her clothes. It was kind of funny because he didn't know how to figure out her size and everything, so it was pretty funny. But I think he could have just done it pretty easily just by matching the clothes, the shirt size by her, instead of because it looked like he had no clue what he was doing, honestly. And then he basically signed her up for this emergency nursery school, because they said that it took time to actually enroll her into a real nursery school, I guess, and this is just an emergency nursery school, which can only hold students for 10 days, is what I'm pretty sure was right, I guess. And basically, in this episode, it really felt like Daikichi trying to fix his schedule to work around Rin, because he basically drops her off in the morning. He doesn't see her until, he drops her off. I'm not sure if it's in the morning or afternoon, and then he drops her off. And he picks her up again at around 7:30 or 8, and basically he's trying to fix his schedule to work around her. Now, in the episode, you saw her waiting a lot, because after she's done, Daikichi is still working at his other job. So I guess he's always late, about 30 minutes or so, maybe an hour. And I can really sympathize with Rin when she just sat there completely bored, because my dad, when he used to pick me up, I waited a hell of a long time when I was a kid. I had about an hour or two just waiting after school. All my friends are home, and I'm sitting there, the only kid there, just sitting there waiting for my dad to pick me up. I hated it. It's completely boring. You really have nothing to do. So, when I saw her there, it really brought back the memories of me just sitting at school waiting, because honestly, it is completely boring. Maybe some of you have actually went through that, where your parents were busy, or busy with work, and they weren't able to pick you up right away. My childhood had a lot of that. My dad was always working. My mom didn't necessarily have enough time to pick me up because she had her own job, so I had to wait after school for a while. I sympathize with her. It was pretty funny, really. But I guess he thought he was able to get out of work earlier, or maybe he kept picking her up late. I'm not sure. They didn't really specify. All you saw was him picking her up, and sometimes she was sleeping, sometimes she wasn't, and basically that was the entire episode. It just showed a couple days go by and him dropping her off and picking her up. And then at the end of the episode, which was really confusing, was he lifted his sheet over and he felt this wet, warm spot, and he didn't know what it was at first, and then he thought he pissed his pants, or he peed in his pants. So he's all like, "Oh, what is it? Me? Did I do that?" And then Rin basically lifts her cover up, so it looked like she wasn't even sleeping at all. It looked like she was waiting for him to wake up, because as soon as she opened her eye, as soon as she flipped the sheets, he was already open and everything. So her eyes were already open, so it looked like she was wide awake and waiting for him to wake up. And she said, it's sweet. And I don't understand what she meant by it's sweet. I don't get it. If any of you guys could just let me know what that means. When he agrees with her and says, okay, it's sweet, I agree with you. And then they just looked at each other and the episode ends. So, I sympathize with this episode, with Rin having to wait a long time after school. Really sympathize with it. I'm actually starting to like this anime. Like I said in the first episode, I liked the plot, I just didn't like the animation and the graphics, but I guess now they're growing on me, and the graphics and animation look pretty well. I mean, I don't dislike them as much as I did the first episode. They're actually kind of growing on me, but it's a really good anime, guys, so keep it up, keep watching this, and I'll see you guys on the third episode.